Hey, what is up, everybody? Hope you're all having a great day today. Man, today, well, first off, before we get into the actual prediction video, I just want to let me know down in the comments what you think of the intro. We have an intro for the show now. It took me a while to edit it. I finally have it created. I know it doesn't look the best, but I mean, it was free, so I don't have a budget, so I did what I did from the money I got. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you thought of the intro. Yeah, so today we're gonna be predicting the 2020 NFL season coming up. Man, I've been working on this one for let's see, like 2 weeks now. So I'm real excited to show you what I got as my predictions. Just note, keep in mind, I'm not doing playoffs predictions because I feel like it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a waste of time to do the prediction for the playoffs with my predicted NFL teams. I mean, it kind of is for me because if I work so hard to make all these predictions for each NFL team and they end up not even making it to the playoffs, I mean, at the end of the video, I have my Super Bowl. Which two teams I think will be in the Super Bowl based on my predictions, but I'm not going to do a literal playoff bracket for my predicted NFL teams. Maybe I'll do it next year, but for right now, I just don't feel like there's a need for it. You'll see what I mean if you don't get what I'm saying. Like, I'm just not going to be doing a playoff bracket. I'm not doing playoff predictions with the predicted records I have. But I will be doing the NFL playoff predictions for once the regular NFL season is over, though. So stay tuned for that in like around January, I guess. um. So yeah. All right. Let's get started with the AFC conference. So, and then we'll start out with the AFC North. Starting at number 1 in the AFC North, we got the Ravens going 10-6. Second, Steelers going 8-8. Third, I have the Browns going 7-9. And last in the division, I got the Bengals going 4-12. All right, let's start off with the Ravens. I know people were like, the Ravens did a lot better than a lot of people expected going into last year. But I have a really good feeling about the Ravens this year. I really do. But I feel like the reason for the decline is I feel like Lamar Jackson, people are going to figure him out a little bit more. Just a little decline. But their defense is going to be stellar, though. But I feel like, I don't want to say there's going to be a decline from Lamar Jackson. It's just he's not going to play as well as he did last year. He's not winning another MVP. I feel like defenses will be figuring him out a little bit more because there's a bunch of tape on him now. And people will be adjusting to any time they play him. So I know Ravens fans think they're going to go to the Super Bowl next year, but there's one sneaky team in the AFC that everyone is not really talking about who I think could be making it to the Super Bowl next year, but we're not even near there yet. But yeah, 10-6 I feel like is a good. They have they have a couple tough teams this year. That's for sure. They have a couple tough teams. Their schedule isn't as easy as it was last year. So they're gonna have a little bit of trouble. Defenses will be figuring Lamar Jackson out a little bit. And yeah, I mean, other than that, they're gonna be doing pretty solid. Probably go pretty deep into the playoffs next year. I mean, I'm sure he'll have a step up, but I feel like he'll get better with his throwing. But I mean, he's not gonna be running as much as he did like last year because he ran a whole ton. I mean, this guy's insane the way he plays quarterback. He might change the way some teams view the quarterback position in the NFL. So Lamar Jackson did a whole lot last year. My personal opinion, I don't think he should have won MVP. I think that should have went to Russell Wilson. I mean, that's just my opinion. But all in all, 10-6 I feel like is a respectful record, and I feel like they'll go to the playoffs next year. They'll be in the playoffs next year. Okay, second in that division in the AFC North, I feel like the Steelers will be second, and they'll be going 8-8. All right. This one's a little controversial. I know their defense is really, really, really good. I'm not doubting that. I'm doubting Ben Roethlisberger. He's costed his team time and time again for like the past ever since like 2016. He's been in a major decline. I don't think people actually see that. I don't think he'll be much better than Mason Rudolph was. I mean, yeah, and he got his elbow injury too. He torn a ligament on his throwing arm, and that's really hard to recover from that. He's 38. He's not going to get better. His arm strength, it's still there, but I mean, he throws a ton of picks, which costs this team all the time. In my honest opinion, I feel like it's time to move on from Ben Roethlisberger. If you don't believe in Mason Rudolph, in my personal opinion, I believe in Mason Rudolph. He has a good arm. Seems like a good kid. Believe in the kid. I mean, I don't know. Mike Tomlin doesn't seem that interested in Mason Rudolph as their future franchise starting quarterback going forward, but I do. I feel like this kid has like a lot of potential, but that's besides the point. But I'm sure he's not going to be starting unless Ben Roethlisberger gets injured again, which is always possible. But all in all, 8-8. They're not going to be doing that great. I know their defense is really, really good, but Ben Roethlisberger is really going to cost their team next year. And James Conner, it also depends on him too, because he had a really down year. Everyone on the offensive side had a really down year. I guess that's due to Ben Roethlisberger not playing. I don't really know. To be honest, I think they were better with Mason Rudolph. And before he got injured with that big concussion, because he had a concussion, his head got traumatized last year, Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph got abused in the head. He got knocked out. He had a concussion. Then he got hit by Myles Garrett with a helmet. It's crazy. And and then Ben Roethlisberger, due to the coronavirus thing, I mean, it's going to affect teams, especially teams with new head coaches, the coronavirus. And also, like, new players, rookies. It's going to affect all of them. And Ben Roethlisberger he hasn't been he's been practicing, but I mean, he hasn't been involved. There's, like, no OTAs to get involved with to, like, start relearning everything again, if you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, I'm saying 8-8. I feel like that's really respectful. It's a good number. I don't think they're making it into the playoffs. I don't see that coming at all. Their defense is still really good though, but offense is not gonna be good at all. And Ben Roethlisberger is probably gonna throw a ton of picks like he always does now. So, yeah, 8-8 Steelers. And third, we got the Cleveland Browns going 7-9. Okay, so I believe in the Browns, their new plan going on forward. I did not believe in them last year. I did not believe in Freddie Kitchens at all. Even before the NFL season started, I thought people were crazy. I don't think the Browns are making it to the playoffs for quite a few years. They're in a rebuilding stage right now in Cleveland. But listen, if this whole coronavirus thing never happened, it would probably be going 9-7. Because the problem is, right now, all new NFL head coaches, it's hard to build a relationship with your team. Like, you have to be the leader of the locker room. You have to command those guys together. And it's hard to do that as a new NFL head coach. And getting all your new guys together, getting in contact with Baker Mayfield. I know you can get them through the virtual, but virtual is different from, like, actually speaking to them in person. Like, getting everybody's vibe, getting used to the whole Cleveland Browns energy, the locker room, how the locker room is. Like, it's hard to get into control of all that when you're doing all these virtual lessons and, like, virtual talking, meetings and stuff. It's not the same at all. And especially as a new head coach, it's hard to connect with everyone. And especially with, like, the amount of drama the Browns had last year and the hotheads that are in their locker room, it's hard to get in control of everyone like that because they have a lot of high ego level players like Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, a little bit of Odell Beckham. You got Myles Garrett. Like, it's hard to get control of that locker room through virtual contact, virtual calling, FaceTiming your players and stuff. If you get what I'm saying, so yeah, it's gonna be hard for them to have a connection, like a real hardcore connection. Yeah. So the new Browns head coach is gonna have a hard time introducing himself through this virtual callings, virtual meetings that the NFL teams are having right now. especially the Browns organization, because you got a lot of hotheads like Baker Mayfield, like I said, and Baker Mayfield, I feel like really needs to have a good connection, and it's hard to have a good connection right now. That's what I'm trying to say. So all in all, I feel like 7-9 will be pretty good for them. It's a lot better than last year. It's a little better than last year. I'm sure they're gonna do than they did last year because they have a good NFL coach. I believe in them. I believe in him, and yeah, I think they're going in the right direction now. I believe so. Lastly, in the AFC North is the Cincinnati Bengals going 4-12. They're not good. They're bad. Joe Burrow's a great addition, who's gonna have a career wasted unless he gets traded like Eli Manning did, but he never had that happen. Maybe he can request a trade at the end of the season. Who really knows? Joe Burrow is going to waste his career there unless Zach Taylor gets fired, because Zach Taylor, the head coach there, he's just bad. There was no hope. I didn't see any hope in that. While he was coaching, he didn't look like he knew what he was doing. Unlike the Dolphins head coach, who had a little shining moments as a head coach, or the Cardinals head coach. He had a lot of shining moments, if you know what I mean. He showed potential to be a great NFL head coach. Zach Taylor showed I didn't see anything. I don't know if he wasn't trying. I doubt it. I think he was trying because he did pretty good in the first week. He actually did kind of good. If you remember, the Bengals went up against the Seahawks. I think they lost 28. They lost 28-26 against the Seahawks. They did pretty good, but after that, I feel like Zach Taylor, things got to his head. They put in Ryan Finley in last year. Oh, they were a mess, and I don't think they're not going to be good for a long time. I feel like they hired another Marvin Lewis. They really did. I don't know what the Bengals are doing. They're so hopeless. I'm sorry, Bengals fans. I don't see any hope for you guys. I don't see any hope. Your defense looks mad. Joe Mixon, running back, he's good, but I mean, yeah, they could get a better running back. I mean, he's just okay. I know people think he's pretty good. I know he had ran for 1,000 yards, but I feel like he just doesn't have that spark. I don't know, the spark that the Bengals need. They need a really good running back right now. AJ Green, I mean, he's injured all the time now. I like Tyler Boyd, though. John Ross, the fastest player in the NFL, or second fastest if you think Tyreek Hill is faster. He can't catch that great. He's kind of like Nelson Aguilar. He's just really fast, though. I mean, second fastest wide receiver in the NFL, or second fastest NFL player. Sorry. Yeah, and I think Alden Tate's a little bit better than John Ross. I mean, I found them to be a little bit impressive last year. All in all, Bengals suck. They're crap right now. Zach Taylor, not a great head coach. I don't know why they hired him. So yeah, 4-12 Bengals. Maybe they're gonna do a little bit better because of Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow is gonna have his career wasted there. Such a shame. All right, moving on to the AFC South. Oh boy, got a lot of contenders here. Well, I mean, yeah. Okay. So we got all the teams in the AFC South. We got the Titans 11-5, Jaguars coming in second 7-9, Texans 7-9, Colts 6-10. So let's start out with the Tennessee Titans. I feel like they're gonna go 11-5. They have a pretty solid roster. Ryan Tannehill, so he's great. They got Derrick Henry back. I know they lost Deion Lewis, the running back, but I felt like it was a good third down running back. They made some good moves on the defense. Unfortunately, they'll probably have lost Logan Ryan. I mean, I feel like they're going to be pretty solid, though. I mean, even without Logan Ryan. I know it's a big loss, but they still got Adoree Jackson. I think Malcolm Butler was still pretty good before he got injured last season. I felt he had quite a few picks. I know they felt like they did better without him, but he had some key interception moments. So, and they're gonna get him back next year. And yeah, So they're gonna be pretty solid. Derrick Henry's gonna be a beast once again. I don't think that was a one-hit wonder. I mean, you just can't. People are afraid to attack him. Tackle him. Sorry, they're afraid to tackle him. They're afraid to tackle him, and when they do, they fall right off. He's kind of like beast mode, but he doesn't have that spark. That I don't know. I feel like he needs a little bit more spark in his running ability, which is kind of a shame. I mean, like when you see Saquon Barkley, he just flies across the field. Derrick Henry, he runs. I feel like sometimes he doesn't run, like he doesn't have that spark, if you know what I'm saying. But that's besides the point. He's gonna be great next year. I feel like he could be better though. But all in all, 11-5, I think they're gonna be pretty solid as long as Ryan Tannehill stays healthy, because he does have an injury problem. He really does. And yeah, all in all, 11-5. All right, coming in second, we got the Jaguars coming in 7-9. Their defense is going to be not that great, but I feel like Gardner Minshew is going to take that step up. He's going to go to the next level. I like what they're doing there. I like what they're doing in Jacksonville, my Jacksonville Jaguars. They lost A.J. Bouye. They lost a lot of key players on defense. It seems like the locker room is a little shaky because of what Leonard Fournette said about not wanting Gardner Minshew as their starting quarterback, which is just ridiculous. He said he wanted Cam Newton. Who wants Cam Newton in their locker room? No one wants Cam Newton in their locker room. He's a whiner. He's a crybaby. I'm sorry. I'm being honest. I mean, I don't know why people think he's declined so much. He gets injured if you just lay a finger on him. These are just facts. He doesn't take anything well. He's not a great leader. I thought he was maturing. He's gone back to more immature than he's ever been. And he's just not a solid quarterback anymore. Ever since his MVP season, just fell flat. I'm sorry. I don't know why people are defending him. There's nothing to defend. I'm sorry. But that's besides the point. Gardner Minshew will be great next year, and as long as their locker room is intact, they'll be playing 7-9. And if he'll be starting the whole season, because last season Nick Foles came in. I love Nick Foles, but he didn't fit the system in Jacksonville. He really didn't. Gardner Minshew fit that system a lot better. So they're gonna go 7-9. So yeah, and then coming in third, Texans. They're gonna be going 7-9 as well, and they haven't done anything great. I mean, they keep losing people. It seems like they lost. So when they went to the playoffs in 2018, I believe. Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys? So upon editing, I noticed that I have the Texans. I have a good chunk of the Texans, Colts, and a little bit of the Patriots footage and audio missing. So I'm just gonna go through it real quick. Just do a quick review on what I originally said, because I always love when my editing software does this. So this is just great. So all right. So what I believe I was talking a little bit about the Texans here. Why I said they're going to go 7-9. Basically, I felt that they didn't really do anything to improve their roster this season. They lost DeAndre Hopkins, obviously. They lost quite a few players on defense, and they kind of like recently over the past couple of years, they've progressively gotten worse and worse because they've lost Jadeveon Clowney. They lost a ton of key playmakers, and J.J. Watt isn't as healthy as he usually was. Like last year, he was out for most of the season. So that's why I felt like they mainly were going to go 7-9. And I'm missing footage for the Colts, which is unfortunate because I felt like I said a couple good things there too. Basically, I felt like Philip Rivers isn't the key to Indianapolis. I feel like if Jacoby Brissett starts this season, which I doubt they're going to have that happen, then I feel like they could go maybe like 8-8, 9-7. They're also missing some. They need better wide receivers as well. T.Y. Hilton's getting older, I was saying, and their secondary receivers aren't that great. Running backs seem pretty solid. Defense pretty good. Offensive line obviously is good, but they're just Philip Rivers is not the answer for that team in quarterback. Hopefully they draft a guy like Trevor Lawrence next year, and that's what I was basically saying, and that's why I feel like they were going to go 6-10. Then I think there's a little bit of footage of the Patriots, but I'm gonna basically do a quick run through the team real quick. I believe in Jarrett Stidham. Believe he's gonna do great. Bill Belichick always has a plan. I believe in his plan, even though I'm not a big fan of the guy personally. He's a smart dude, so I wouldn't doubt him just yet. And they have a kind of easy schedule. I mean, obviously their division's kind of easy, and yeah, I mean, I just basically that's all I gotta say. And then I was saying N'Keal Harry isn't. I just don't feel he wasn't doing well when he was with Tom Brady because Tom Brady didn't throw his way at all. And I know he's a rookie; he was making rookie mistakes, but Tom Brady should have thrown to him last season to help with those rookie mistakes. And I feel like he's gonna take that step forward with Jarrett Stidham. I feel like it's gonna be a nice connection between Jarrett Stidham and N'Keal Harry. So looking forward to see that next year. And that's basically all I'm missing. I apologize for the footage missing, and I just I gotta get better software. Well, eventually I'll get better software, but right now I'm using what I got. And yeah, sorry about that. And enjoy the rest of the video. Just wanted to do a quick dive into what the footage and audio was missing. Thanks.
That can actually move pretty fast. So, yeah, 10-6. They got a pretty easy schedule. They got the Dolphins and Jets and Bills, which are all pretty easy for them. Bill Belichick always figures out a way to overcome those teams. So they're gonna have an easy schedule, 10-6. Okay, coming in second, I got the Dolphins coming in at 7-9. I'm not sure if Tua is gonna start this year. I'm not really sure, but either way, Tua's gonna be a bust. I know that's not a popular opinion, but Tua Tagovailoa, I can never say his name right. Tua, he's gonna be a bust. He's gonna get either injured a lot. I feel like when I noticed a little bit that he kind of squirms in the pocket with pressure in his way now. He really should have came out of college after his breakout year. He really should have. And I think it was his sophomore year. I forget, but Tua's, I don't know. I like his arm. I know he's left-handed, but I mean, they got a good receiving core. But I feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick should be the starter throughout the whole year, and I feel like he's got to have a little bit of Fitz magic kind of come back with him. So, I mean, they got a solid running back now. They got Jordan Howard, who came from my Eagles. So, you know what I mean? He was great there until he got injured. But, I mean, everyone got injured on the Eagles, if you know what I mean. But they have good, solid playmakers on the defense. They got Byron Jones. They signed a lot of great players this NFL offseason. They made a lot of great moves. They drafted a couple good players except Tua. And yeah, 7-9 Dolphins if Ryan Fitzpatrick starts and has a little bit of Fitzmagic in the year. Okay, coming in third is the Bills, the Buffalo Bills. All right, they're gonna downgrade. They're not gonna. They're gonna. They're gonna decline. Man, it's just one of those days. They're gonna decline this season. I feel like their defense, their offense, something isn't gonna click. I know they got Stephon Diggs now, and I'm sure Josh Allen will be pretty great. But I don't see them being as great as they were last season. I don't know. It's just the way they were talking in the locker room. I've seen a bunch of interviews. Something's not gonna click right, and it always happens with good playoff teams. I'm sure they're going to go back to the playoffs next year, but something isn't going to click right this season. It just always ends up happening for some reason with teams that go in the playoffs most of the time. And I know that they got tough top competition now with the Dolphins because they got a lot better, and Ryan Fitzpatrick might throw a little Fitzmagic their way when they go up against each other, because that's what Ryan Fitzpatrick usually does now. So, yeah, I see them going 7-9. They're gonna have a little bit of a down year. They don't have as easy as a schedule as they did last year, and yeah, I mean their defense is still gonna be pretty good. But all in all, 7-9. They're just gonna have a little bit of a down year, just a little bit. Okay. All right, coming in at last is the Jets. I know they made their defense a little bit better. They added a couple upgrades a little bit with Brashad Perriman and Frank Gore in the running back room now. Le'Veon Bell and Sam Darnold. I hope they have a good year this year. I don't know. It seems like the Jets locker room is a little bit of a mess. I, I just I don't see them doing that great this year. They're I think they're gonna have a little bit of a down year. I feel like last year was their year. Unfortunately, Sam Darnold got caught mono, and it just screwed everything up. I think they're gonna have a little bit of a down year this year, and it happens. I just hope they don't fire Adam Gase because I think he's a really good NFL head coach, and we'll see. We'll see a little bit of a decline next year. Unfortunately, it's just that's gonna happen due to all that drama that happened and coronavirus. I feel like they need a lot of reps with some of the players, and now they're just not gonna get that. They're just gonna decline a little bit this year. It's unfortunate. They're gonna go 5-11. They got a tough schedule. Hopefully, Sam Darnold doesn't catch no more mono, and everything. I feel like it's gonna be a learning experience this year. So 5-11. It's gonna be a little bit of a learning curve. All right. Moving on to the AFC West. All right, let's get into it. It's one of the most hardest divisions in the NFL. One of the most toughest divisions in the NFL. All right, coming in first, we got Broncos coming at 12-4, Chiefs coming at 11-5, Chargers 9-7, Raiders 7-9. I think this is the toughest division in the AFC. AFC West is going to be a real killer team. Oh, they got a bunch of killer teams next year. All four of these teams, I feel like, have the potential to go to the playoffs, but unfortunately, only two of them are going to go to the playoffs: Chiefs and the Chargers. It's a really tough division coming into the next year. They all upgraded, Tyrod Taylor and stuff, but we'll get into all the teams in a bit. We'll start with the Broncos. Man, they upgraded so much. They've been a good team for a while, but problem is they just they didn't have a good quarterback. Man, they didn't have a good quarterback. They had Paxton Lynch in 2017 for a little bit, and 2018 they had Case Keenum, who was not that great with their system, and then they had Joe Flacco, who was a mess, and they switching backup quarterbacks in. The quarterback position has been one of the worst in the NFL for a long time. But now they have thank God, they finally have an heir to Peyton Manning, and they had to wait 4 years. It's Drew Lock. Drew Lock, I'm saying it now. Until I make my awards thing, but I'm saying it now. I'm announcing that Drew Lock will be MVP. Record it, date it. I'm saying it. He's going to be MVP. I have a really gut feeling about this kid. I didn't have a gut feeling for him coming out of college, but those games I saw him play, he had an elite NFL potential. Good arm. Looks like he knew the playbook. He read the defense a little bit too. He didn't have great wide receivers, unfortunately, but they're really scary. I mean, seriously. I think Von Miller recovered from having the coronavirus. Unfortunately, hope he's doing all right. But if he's at 100%, it's gonna be great. I know they don't have Chris Harris Jr. anymore, which is a little bit of a downgrade. But they got AJ Bouye. They still got some key defensive backs in there. I mean, they're gonna be scary. Let me tell you, they're gonna be scary. On offense, their offense is going to be one of the best offenses coming into next year. They got Jerry Jeudy, best wide receiver out of the NFL draft. They got Courtland Sutton, who's going to be one of the best wide receivers in the next coming years. I mean, I think he's top 10 now. He was so elite. I mean, I was so impressed by his play. He's going to be like, coming in like 2 years, he'll probably be in like top 5 wide receivers in the NFL. Broncos fans, you got a lot to be excited about. Let me tell you, Broncos are going to be one of the scariest teams coming into the next year. Then you got the running backs too. I've been a big fan of Philip Lindsay for a while. I mean, he did great last year. He did even better a couple years ago. But I mean, he's a really good running back. And I know they got Melvin Gordon. It's okay, but I mean, he can help with the running back room. Offensive line is okay, but I feel like Drew Lock can handle it. My only concern, there's one really jarring concern that can destroy this whole season. Vic Fangio made comments. I'm not going to repeat it. I don't want to cause any drama here, but he made comments that upsetted the locker room. He said there was no racism in the NFL. Whatever your opinion is, it messed up the locker room. That's the only concern that I have coming into next year. I mean, I don't know. They kind of fired back at him. I know he apologized, but stuff like that, it can damage your NFL season when you got a bunch of locker room drama. Look at the Browns. The Browns had a lot of key talent players, and it just fell apart with a bunch of drama that went on through the whole season. Their whole season was just drama. It was like watching a soap opera last year. But that's how the Browns organization was, and hopefully the Broncos doesn't fall into that fate. But I mean, other than that, if they can keep their locker room intact, and they could go for a Super Bowl. Broncos are scary next year. I'm calling it now. They're like how I felt about the 49ers last year, and no one else did. I feel like this for the Broncos, and no one else did. I mean, it's the same thing. Broncos are going to be scary. I'm calling it now. They're going to have a really good offense. They're going to have a really good defense. They're going to be solid. I think they might even do better than 12-4, maybe even 14-2. They have a kind of an easy schedule. They got the Chiefs in their schedule, which is never easy. Patrick Mahomes is the devil when it comes to NFL defenses. Everyone's scared of him. But all right, Broncos 12-4. But speaking of Patrick Mahomes, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going 11-5. I mean, they're solid. They brought back all their players from the Super Bowl, pretty much, almost all of them. I feel like they upgraded a couple players. They got a really great running back now. Finally, the first time in a long time, even though I felt like LaShawn McCoy was pretty good. I know he had a little bit of fumbling problem due to the way he decided to run with the ball. They have Clyde Edwards. I forget. Clyde Edwards. That's his name. Yeah. Clyde Edwards, the best running back out of the NFL draft. Andy Reid said it himself. He's better than Brian Westbrook, who was on the Philadelphia Eagles for quite a while. I know they still have Damian Williams. I've never been like, oh my God, about Damian Williams. He's just been good. He's not like, oh my God, everyone be scared. He's not Saquon Barkley type. They drafted a Saquon Barkley type. He came out of LSU, was great with Joe Burrow last season. And I know, and that's the thing, Joe Burrow, mainly in LSU, they mainly threw the whole time with Joe Burrow, and they still went, and he still had a good season. He still had a lot of yards and stuff. So I mean, all in all, the Chiefs just upgraded on everything. You know what I mean? So just be careful with the Chiefs next year. They're gonna be scary. They're gonna be as good as they were last season. McCole Hardman's gonna take that big leap forward. Sammy Watkins is still there. He's still around. And they're going to have one hell of a season, let me tell you. I don't think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl again, but they're going to still have a really, really good season. But they're going to make it to the playoffs. All right, coming up next is the LA Chargers going 9-7. Let me tell you, Tyrod Taylor is a big upgrade over Phillip Rivers. He's mobile. He has a good arm. They still have a pretty good receiving core. The running back room needs a little work on. I know Austin Eckler's there, but But their defense was still pretty good last season. Unfortunately, it was Phillip Rivers basically costed their season. Hopefully, Hunter Henry will be pretty good if he can stay healthy. I think he went out with an injury last season again, so don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he did. Chargers, they're gonna be pretty solid. I just feel like Tyrod Taylor is going to be a good upgrade, and I've always found him kind of a good leader. I know a lot of people are not a big fan of Tyrod Taylor. Me personally, I've always been a fan of Tyrod Taylor. I feel like he was a downgrade version of Michael Vick a little bit for quite a while. I liked him coming out of college, and no one else did. I liked him for a while, and I was so glad when he had a chance to start with the Bills. I know he was with the Ravens for a while, but he never really had a chance to start there. He had a chance to start with the Bills. I thought he was great. He's a good standing quarterback for when Justin Herbert is ready to be the starter. I believe in Justin Herbert. Maybe they'll bring him in. I feel like Justin Herbert's better than Tyrod Taylor, but I feel like he needs to sit out for the season. Don't rush him in. Let him sit there and watch. Let him learn the playbook, and if Tyrod Taylor gets injured, maybe it's another Baker Mayfield situation. You never know. I've been a fan of Justin Herbert since a really long time. I think, yeah, I've been a fan of him since when he was with the Oregon Ducks. That's the only reason why I watched them. I one day saw him playing on my TV. I was like, wow, this kid is going to be a future elite starting quarterback, and I felt that way ever since. I believe it was 2017 or 2018 I became a fan of him. I feel like he should have came out of college in 2018. But I guess he decided not to stay another year because there was a lot of tough quarterbacks in the NFL draft in 2018 when the draft with Kyler Murray and Dwayne Haskins and stuff. But I've always been a fan of Justin Herbert. I feel like he's going to be a great starter for that franchise moving forward. I don't know what everyone's talking about. He's going to be like Mitchell. Someone said he's going to be like Mitchell Trubisky. I saw a video on that. I was like, it's a little extreme, but let him sit out a year. I know a lot of people also compare him to another bust. Brandon Weeden. They compare him to him a little bit. I don't know why they compare to him. He's going to be great. He really reminds me of Matt Ryan a little bit, but with better legs. So, all in all, Justin Herbert he'll be a great quarterback for that franchise. But yeah, they're gonna go 9-7. They're gonna make it to the playoffs. I don't think they're gonna win the first wild card game. I don't think they're gonna win that. They're not gonna go in a divisional round. They're just gonna go out in the first round. But I feel like they're gonna have a good year, good learning year. They're a little bit in a rebuild mode right now. So yeah, because they were horrible last season. They went 5-11, unacceptable. All in all, they're gonna go 9-7. They're gonna have a pretty solid year. And coming to last is the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. That's gonna be quite a while to get used to saying that. So the Las Vegas Raiders, I don't know how they're honestly gonna be. I want them to be better, but their defense just needs a lot of work. Their offense is. I know they upgraded a couple key positions, like in the wide receiver position mainly. It's just their defense is not that great. No, their offensive line's still pretty good, but their defense, I think they kind of got worse a little bit in some ways, but they got better in other ways too. They upgraded a lot of positional areas. All in all, just their defense needs a lot of work. And it's a shame too because they got a pretty solid offense. But maybe next year or then the year after that they'll be pretty good. But coming into next year, I don't think so. I thought they had their chance last year. I felt like they had a really solid chance, but they lost to really bad teams last year. It's weird. They beat really good teams at sometimes, and then they were really inconsistent last year, which was such a shame. Maybe they'll do better in the new stadium. Who knows? Maybe they'll have like a little bit more of a drive to be better. But they're going to be really good eventually. Just they're in a really long rebuild mode. I think John Gruden has a contract there for about 8 more years, I believe. So I think he wanted to take a really, really, really long rebuild, and hopefully it pays out. Because if it doesn't, then it's gonna feel like a waste. But I believe in John Gruden. I mean, he won the Super Bowl with the Bucs as the NFL head coach, and I believe what they're doing there. But this could be a little bit of a down year. It's gonna be kind of like the same year that they had last year. It's their defense is not gonna. They're just not that great. But Josh Jacobs is one hell of a running back, and I mean. They're gonna have great years to come. They got a solid receiving core now with Henry Ruggs in there. It's a great deep threat. They still got Tyrell Williams, and I believe in Hunter Renfrow, the Raiders slot receiver, who kind of reminds me of Wes Walker in a lot of ways. So yeah, they're gonna have great years to come, but it's gonna be a little bit of a down year due to a crappy defense. All right, we're moving on to the NFC, and the first division we're gonna go to is the NFC North. All right, man, this is another tough division. Okay, so the NFC North, we got first, we got the Lions coming in first at 10-6, the Bears coming in second at 10-6, third coming Packers 8-8, and last is the Vikings at 6-10. All right, I know this is extremely controversial. I'm not saying this just to be crazy or anything. I have not lost my mind. If everything goes right for these two teams, they're going to go 10-6. They got a good schedule. They got easy everything. Their schedule is basically easy. Problem is, can everyone stay healthy for both teams? Because their teams had a lot of injuries last year. And also, but I'm talking about the Lions and Bears. All right, but we'll talk about each team separately. Let's go with the first team. Lions 10-6. They're going to be the leader of their division. Oh boy, I can already hear the people screaming, acting like I'm insane. I'm not. If you look at last year before Matthew Stafford got injured, they were really, really, really good. I mean, I was surprised on how good they really were. They almost beat the Chiefs. They got better throughout the year, too. With Matthew Stafford playing, they almost beat the Chiefs, and they beat the Eagles. They tied with the Cardinals. I mean, they played some really, really good teams. Their defense was incredible. I don't know what Matt Patricia is doing, but give this man a pay grade. I mean, or a raise. I mean, like his defense was like, I think, top 5 at one point. It was insane. He stopped Patrick Mahomes. I know they don't have Darius Slay anymore, but they upgraded him with Jeff Okudua. That's his name. I'm pretty sure that's his name, Jeff Okudua. But they upgraded with him. I think he's an upgrade from Darius Slay. He's faster, he's more clean. They're pretty dangerous coming into next year. They upgraded a lot of other positions too. Their receiving core is still great. Running back is good. I mean, they're gonna be scary. If Matthew Stafford could stay healthy, because he was the key component for that team, and unfortunately he got injured. But if he can stay healthy, and their defense can play as great as they did last year before Matthew Stafford's injury, they could even go 12-4. Their team was like insanely good. I was surprised. I didn't think they were that good, but then I looked at a lot of the schedule and stuff, and I'm like, they almost beat the Chiefs? Wow. And Patrick Mahomes didn't throw any touchdowns in that game. I was shocked. What defense can make... A defense has to be extremely good for Patrick Mahomes not to throw any touchdowns. Like, that's scary. Like, that keeps me up at night. If I had to play that defense, like, that defense stopped Patrick Mahomes from throwing any touchdowns? That's scary. I mean, as long as Matthew Stafford could stay healthy, that's their main concern. So 10-6, if everything goes into place. I'm being optimistic here. 10-6. They have a pretty easy schedule. So, all right. Coming in second, the Chicago Bears coming at 10-6. Their defense has always been great. Let's just say it now. They were number 1 in 2018, and I think they were like number 6 last year. But everyone, it wasn't decline was the issue. Everyone just didn't believe in Mitchell Trubisky. I'm being flat out honest. It wasn't Matt Nagy. They were like, okay, we're tired of this kid. We're tired of this guy not doing what he needs to do. He missed easy throws. For crying out loud, Chase Daniel, who's okay, he's not a starting caliber quarterback, but he's just like okay. He was better than Mitchell Trubisky. Like, he's not talented enough to be an NFL starting quarterback, and he was better than Mitchell Trubisky. They played better with Chase Daniel. Obviously, there's something is not clicking with Mitchell Trubisky's brain. He can't read the defenses. He shivers in the pocket, if you know what I mean. He like goes into a little ball. He's afraid of getting hit. He's mobile, but he doesn't use his mobility when he should be using it. Hopefully, Mitchell Trubisky doesn't play next year. But if Nick Foles plays and stays healthy, man, that's scary too. Nick Foles is clutch. If you remember in 2018 when Nick Foles was on the Eagles versus the Bears, Mitchell Trubisky missed every single throw. Nick Foles made every single throw. Even throws that the receivers couldn't even like pinpoint accuracy. fourth down conversions he made, Trubisky couldn't make a single one. People blame the kicker for the Bears losing. I blamed Mitchell Trubisky during that game in the wild card game 2018. I blame Mitchell Trubisky 100%. But Nick Foles made every single throw he was supposed to. The thing is, he's a little bit of a pick machine. He's an interception machine. A little bit. Like, he's a little bit interception heavy. But he didn't have a great wide receiver core with the Eagles that year. I mean, it was okay, but he's a jump ball type of quarterback. He wants his receivers to make jump balls. And that's what Alshon Jeffrey did for a little bit, but he wasn't great at it. But Allen Robinson, the wide receiver for the Bears, he's made 1,000-yard season. He's had 1,000-yard seasons with Blake Bortles and Mitchell Trubisky, one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. Both of them, one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL in those years, and he's had 1,000-yard seasons. Like, how? How do you have 1,000-yard seasons? You must be like insanely good. Now imagine having Nick Foles as your quarterback. If Allen Robinson finally has a good quarterback, man, I mean, Allen Robinson could be like top 3 receivers in the NFL. Like, how does this man have had 1,000-yard seasons consistently? Like, he's a consistent wide receiver. Doesn't drop the ball that much. I mean, my gosh. Allen Robinson, I didn't know he was that good. I mean, I looked at the film. It was amazing. Unfortunately, Mitchell Trubisky missed him even though he was like wide open like half of the season. If you look down the field, Allen Robinson was like waving his hands up like basically the whole season, like, yo, bro, I'm open. What you doing? But if he has Nick Foles, Allen Robinson would be the best wide receiver Nick Foles has had in a really long time. Like, don't get me wrong, Alshon Jeffrey is great, and he had Golden Tate for a little bit too. And Nelson Aguilar he's Nelson Aguilar. I mean, and he also has okay tight ends too. But if Nick Foles wins that starting job, if the Bears get that first round mindset for Mitchell Trubisky out of their heads and let Nick Foles start, they're going to be scary. And if the defense gets together, Matt Nagy gets control of that locker room, that's going to be one hell of a team. I'm telling you. The running backs are okay, David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. But Nick Foles, he's a great leader too. Everyone said it, except in Jacksonville because they didn't fit their system. But overall, Bears, if everything goes right, if Nick Foles stays healthy and ends up beating Mitchell Trubisky in the starting job, which he will, but the question is, will the Bears actually start him due to their ego and ignorance of drafting him in the first round ahead of Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes? But I mean, how can you be that dumb? All right, I'm done with those rants. It just angers me that you had Deshaun Watson, you had Patrick Mahomes, and you draft Mitchell Trubisky. Like, what did you even see in him? His arm was the weakest out of Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. Like, his arm was the weakest, and he had the least amount of potential. And he was the least mobile out of all 3 quarterbacks. So why did you draft Mitchell Trubisky? I don't understand. What's the logic behind that? I don't understand. Like, how much drugs are you smoking? I'm being dead serious. Whatever. I mean, the past is the past. You can't change the past. Also, Nick Foles is really good with their system. Nick Foles has been under Matt Nagy's system before because he's worked with Andy Reid. So, yeah, all in all, if everything goes right, they'll go 10-6. All right, coming third is the Packers, 8-8. My God, they have one of the worst drafts. They didn't draft anyone great, really. They drafted a quarterback who I'm sure he's going to be pretty good, but my God, they give Aaron Rodgers some help, for crying out loud. Like, they drafted a running back when they needed a receiver. There aren't any great receivers for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. I'm gonna make a topic for a video coming next week or tomorrow, depending when I upload the video. But I have a topic where Aaron Rodgers is having the same issues that Tom Brady is having. People were saying Tom Brady is in decline, but I mean he could still be pretty good with a good receiving core. Aaron Rodgers is the same thing. People are saying he's declining over and over and over again, but problem is he only has Devontae Adams. The only guy he could trust. The same thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady trusted Julian Edelman. Aaron Rodgers only trusts Devontae Adams. Everybody else is crap. He only has one good running back and an okay second string running back, Jamal Williams, I think. But every other wide receiver of his was crap. Tight end, Jimmy Graham, was crap. It's a shame. Aaron Rodgers, he's not. People are saying he's in decline, but he's really not. He used to have Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb even. Randall Cobb wasn't great, but he was okay. He even had him. Who does he have now besides Devontae Adams? I can't even remember the other two receivers' name. All I can see is videos of them dropping the balls or not even getting wide open. It's a shame. They really should have drafted a wide receiver in the second or third round. The wide receiving core was packed. It was packed with great talent. T. Higgins, even. Like, later guys, you know? Like, even, I know we drafted him, but even in the 5th round, they had some good talent. Like John Hightower in the 5th round. You could have drafted him. But who do you have? You have people that drop the pass every single time. Maybe get someone out of free agency. Maybe get a cheap option from Michael Crabtree or someone. Des Bryant even. Hopefully you can get him. Because Devontae Adams, you got all that pressure on him. You could have even picked up Emmanuel Sanders in the offseason. You didn't even do that. At this point, just get Jordy Nelson out of retirement. I mean, he has to be better than the crappy options that they have besides Devontae Adams. They got like forget his name, Miles Vasquez as a receiver. I don't even know how to say his name. I don't care. He drops passes all the time. It's crap. They have a crappy receiving core. I'm so sorry, Packers fans. I mean, I saw the draft. I was like, what are you doing? It was the Packers who had the worst draft, and the second worst was the Eagles. Or you could even say the Patriots were in that category too. But they're going to go 8-8. Their defense is solid, but they didn't help Aaron Rodgers be better at all. And their offensive line they only have one really good left tackle. He's been really good for a long time. I mean, everyone else is okay, but I mean, help out his offensive line a little bit too. All right. And coming at last is the Minnesota Vikings. All right. If I'm being honest, they have a really tough schedule coming in next year. Their defense hasn't been that great. I mean, their defense kind of downgraded. Dalvin Cook might be having injury problems again. They should get his contract re-signed soon too. But I mean, I'm sure Kirk Cousins is going to do great, but there's just a lot of issues. Is Adam Thielen? Is Adam Thielen going to stay healthy? I mean, who really knows? Well, the Vikings is really unpredictable coming into next season. The only good thing that they have going for them is Kirk Cousins, and that's it. I mean, is Dalvin Cook going to be good again? Their defense doesn't look that great. Offensive line could be better. I mean, who really knows what's going to happen with them coming into next year? But there is hope, though. There's hope if everything goes better, because they have a tough schedule too. If Dalvin Cook stays healthy, their wide receiver core becomes better, because they lost Stephon Diggs too. You gotta keep that in mind. Who knows? There's hope, but I don't see it, and they got a tough schedule too. So 6-10, Minnesota Vikings. All right. Whew. All right, we're going to the NFC South. Oh, boy. It's going to have some controversy with them. Coming in first, Falcons 10-6. Coming in second, Saints 9-7. Third, Buccaneers 8-8. And last, Panthers 8-8. Okay. Start off with the Falcons. They upgraded a lot of positions quite heavily. I was surprised. They got Todd Gurley now as a running back. Whew. The wide receiver core looks pretty solid. Their defense pretty solid. Like, if you remember last year, they kicked into drive. If you remember last year, they were a little bit in a rebuild mode. But if they remember, they kicked into drive last year. And I know Matt Ryan's been in decline. I feel like next year they should draft a quarterback. But they kicked into gear big time last season, and they upgraded every position. So if they keep playing like they did, if they keep playing like they did at the end of last season, which I believe they will, because if they don't, then the head coach will get fired, which is a shame because he's a really good head coach for the Falcons. So who knows what's going to happen next year? I think they hired some good coaching. They fired some bad apples in the coaching staff, and I just think they're gonna be pretty well. Gonna make it to the playoffs. Just saying. I know they lost Devontae Freeman, but Todd Gurley's an upgrade. So 10-6, they're gonna be pretty good. Keep an eye out for the Falcons. Okay, now coming in second is the Saints at 9-7. Now, I honestly feel that they got over their locker room drama. Honestly. I mean, I know their locker room is a little bit in shatters right now due to what Drew Brees unfortunately said. And no matter if you agree with it or not, you have to agree it messed up their locker room big time. You had Michael Thomas, Malcolm Jenkins, even Cam Jordan. I believe he called him out too. They all called him out. They all swore at him. They all seemed like they didn't trust him anymore. But it seems like everything is repaired now. But that could be an issue coming into next season. But that's not why they're going 9-7. One of the main reasons is the running back, Alvin Kamara. Sorry, is their running back Alvin Kamara going to be healthy? Is he going to be strong? 2, is Drew Brees going to decline even more because he's been declining every single season? His arm is getting weaker, and it seems like he's not being as good as he should be in the pocket. Is their receiving core going to be pretty solid now that they have Emmanuel Sanders? Is Emmanuel Sanders going to be that key playmaker that they need? Honestly, I feel like Keith Kirkwood, if you know who that is, really great wide receiver, came out of Temple. I feel like he was pretty good, but he went to the Panthers now with his former quarterback, P.J. Walker. But that's besides the point. Is Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara going to be elite? Honestly, I don't see it. Drew Brees is declining. Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, he probably is a solid number. He's a solid number 2, but he's not elite. They haven't had elite set of running backs since Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara. My honest opinion, I feel like Mark Ingram is a little bit better than Alvin Kamara running wise, because Mark Ingram is a really solid running back, but Alvin Kamara is a really good receiving back. I feel like that's his main excellence with Alvin Kamara is his receiving, his catching ability. He's like a downgrade of Christian McCaffrey in a lot of ways. So on their offensive side, I just don't know how great they're going to be. That's why I have them going 9-7. Their defense could be pretty good if everyone stays healthy, but they're going to go 9-7. I just see that coming, and they have a tough schedule too. All right, coming in third is the Buccaneers, 8-8. All right, I don't know why everyone's saying they're a playoff team. Tom Brady is an obvious upgrade over Jameis Winston because he is not going to throw that many interceptions. But can Tom Brady work out that playbook? Because that playbook is pretty tough. Every quarterback that has played under Bruce Arians has a tough time learning that playbook. Is Tom Brady going to learn it right away? Is he going to get used to that? I see him throwing 29 touchdowns and 17 interceptions, which is still a lot. And is their defense going to be great as they were last year? I mean, I know Shaq Barrett, he had 19 sacks, but was that a 19 sack like one hit wonder, or like was that a fluke season? Who really knows? They're really unpredictable. Tom Brady's not going to be at their best at his best. The running back is crap. I don't care what you say. I don't know how. I mean, I do care what you say, but I'm saying, like, I don't care what people say. Like, they say that the running back position, like, he's okay, but I don't know. I felt like it was a bust in 2017, 2018. I feel like it's still a bust now. I just don't see it. They don't have that. They need an elite running back, like severely. And once they get an elite running back, maybe they can strive to go to the playoffs. The receiving core is good, but it's because you have a good receiving core doesn't mean anything. Like you have the years on the team too. So I see them going 8-8. I'm really optimistic. They could either go pretty good at 10-6 or they could go pretty bad at 6-10. So, or even 7-9. So who knows how great they're going to be. I don't know if they're going to fit into the playbook for Tom Brady, like fit around Tom Brady's skill set, what he does best. Like maybe they'll make it to another Bill Belichick playbook. Who really knows? But I know I know Tom Brady's going to have a lot of say in Tampa Bay moving forward. I know they got Gronk back, but Gronk, he hasn't been healthy since like 2017, like 100% healthy. So just having Gronk there is like great and all, but he's not gonna be the same Gronkowski as we always knew him. You know, he hasn't been the same in a long time. So, and okay, Buccaneers 8-8. Coming into last is the Panthers. Once again, 8-8. Their defense was pretty good last year. I don't know if anyone remembers, but their defense was really good. The cornerbacks were pretty good. Defensive line, linebackers. Whoa. Oh, wait. I just realized they lost Luke Kuechly. I didn't put that into consideration. I mean, maybe, you never know. Maybe they'll still be pretty good. But I think they upgraded their head coach from Ron Rivera to Matt Rule. Matt Rule is a big-time rebuilding guy. He did great for my Temple team. From my experience watching him in Temple, he was great. I don't believe he worked with P.J. Walker. No, he didn't. They also have a great offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator was the head coach for, I believe, Joe Burrow. I believe so. So he's a great offensive coordinator, obviously. They have a great quarterback with Teddy Bridgewater, who, in my honest opinion, should have been the heir to Drew Brees. Honestly, he should have been the heir to Drew Brees. Anybody other than Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. That's the new discussion now. It's Jameis Winston versus Teddy Bridgewater versus Taysom Hill. Which one of those three should have been the heir to Drew Brees? Honestly, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is a solid quarterback. My thing is he going to be the future starting quarterback for the rest of the Panthers franchise? He's definitely an upgrade over Cam Newton. Like, everyone's better than Cam Newton at this point. But is Teddy Bridgewater just a filler quarterback just there for when they get ready to put P.J. Walker in? Because P.J. Walker has potential to be extremely elite. Look at the XFL. I don't know why no one's putting that into consideration. Those XFL guys could be elite starters in the NFL. Some of them, not all of them, but a lot of them could be. Like, I was amazed by P.J. Walker in the XFL, and I think the Panthers see what I see, him as a future starting quarterback, and, like, give him, like, 2 to 3 years. Like, honestly. I saw him when he came out of college. I don't understand how no one drafted him. It's such a shame, like, how no one saw his potential. He has a good arm, good mobility. Like, 2 key components to be a great quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater should be a future starting quarterback for a franchise because he is young enough. But unfortunately, I just feel like P.J. Walker is a lot better. Like, seriously, if you look at his film and stuff, it's just he has a lot of elite NFL potential. So maybe once they make that transition to P.J. Walker, they'll like have time to rebuild with Teddy Bridgewater for like about 3 years. And then in those 3 years, P.J. Walker will slowly transition into the future starting quarterback of that franchise. But for right now, they have a solid, everything's just kind of solid. They got a good wide receiver in DJ Moore. And good secondary with Chris Hogan and Curtis Samuel. So they're rebuilding, and it's going to take a little bit. Matt Rule is a really big rebuilding guy. But once he rebuilds that team, they're going to be insane. They're going to be insane, that's for sure. So I see them going, honestly, 8-8. I'm really not sure how great they're really going to be because they're in a rebuilding stage right now. Maybe they'll do pretty bad on purpose like the head coach in Miami did. Just saying. All right, moving on to my favorite division. Woo! We got the NFC East. Or more like the NFC Least, coming from last season. But all right, this season, starting from first to last, I got the Giants coming at first at 10-6, second Eagles coming at 9-7, third Cowboys 7-9, and last Redskins 4-12. All right. Probably guys are like, WTF, Giants number one? Are you kidding? No, dude, Giants look pretty good. I didn't see how many positions they really upgraded. I'm really surprised and impressed with the Giants. I know that since the coronavirus thing happened, Joe Judge, once again, he has that issue with the virtual thing. But once again, they hired a lot of great coaches. They hired the old Cowboys head coach. Oh my God, why do I always forget his name? Jason Garrett. Jeez, man. It's one of those days. Jason Garrett. They hired Jason Garrett as their offensive coordinator. He's a pretty good offensive coordinator. He's a really easy guy to adjust to his system. I've noticed that with a lot of quarterbacks that when they first get into a system. Like Dak Prescott figured out a system in less than a year. So, but unfortunately, Dak Prescott wasn't that good. So, their defense, the Giants' defense, I feel like they're going to make that step. They're going to take that step forward. They still got Saquon Barkley. They built the offensive line to be a little bit better. So, I see them doing pretty good. I mean, everyone else in our division is pretty crap. Even the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles, I'm sure they're going to have their issues this season. They always do for some reason ever since they won the Super Bowl. So, Giants, they're in the middle of the rebuilding stage. I believe in Joe Judge. I don't know why people are discrediting him. I'm listening to what he's saying, and he's saying things that make me believe in him. Just saying. Even though I'm not a Giants fan, but I honestly believe in Joe Judge and what he's doing. I think he has a good system in play. So let him do what he does best, and I'm sure Daniel Jones is going to be pretty good this year. I mean, I don't know why people are saying they're going to draft their quarterback. People were saying that the Giants were going to draft a quarterback because they didn't believe in Daniel Jones. I mean, for crying out loud, he had a better rookie season than Eli Manning did. Like, seriously, he has a fumbling problem, but it's a rookie mistakes. These are all rookie mistakes. Like, at the end of the year, he threw 5 touchdowns. My quarterback, Carson Wentz, never threw 5 touchdowns this past season. I believe he threw 5 touchdowns against the Dolphins. Don't quote me on that. But I remember him throwing specifically 5 touchdowns in a single game. Like, when was the last time my quarterback, Carson Wentz, threw 5 touchdowns with no interceptions? Like, he lost to the Dolphins. Like, seriously. Those are bad flashbacks. But, yeah, I mean, the Giants, they have the biggest advantage right now. I know, unfortunately, the only problem that they might have is due to the lack of communication and actually the head coach learning the players, getting used to the players, introducing himself to the players in real life instead of virtually. So that might be their only problem. But other than that, I feel like they'll be pretty solid. And they don't have a bunch of ego big names like the Browns do. Like, the Browns have a bunch of players with big egos and big entourage type of players, trash talk type of players. The Giants seem like they're all pretty civil. Ever since they got rid of Odell Beckham Jr., they've been pretty civil. Locker room, everything just seems like it's been nice and calm. No locker room drama. You know what I mean? I believed in Pat Shurmur. I feel like they should have given him a little bit more of a chance. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I think they upgraded with Joe Judge, and they're going to be pretty great. Maybe they'll even make it to the playoffs. I think I could see them making it to the playoffs. I feel like Daniel Jones will take that step forward into the playoffs. So yeah, I feel like they could go 10-6. And they also got an easy schedule too, due to how crappy they were last season. Coming into second. All right, coming in second is my Eagles. We all know what the Eagles issues are probably going to be this year. Injuries. I mean, it's been like that for like the past couple years now. Hopefully Carson Wentz can stay healthy. Man, the Eagles last year, they had so many issues, but their issues were shown, and they had a lot of underrated players come out into the spotlight, like Greg Ward Jr., Boston Scott. They had a bunch of great guys who I hope I see them on the field next year starting. Like, seriously. On the draft. Oh, the draft. They drafted Jalen Hurts. I honestly, I do not understand. I do not understand why they draft Jalen Hurts. I'm trying to figure it out. If you draft Jalen Hurts in the second round, a round where there were still great cornerbacks, and you draft Jalen Hurts, I don't care if you want to use him as a Swiss Army knife type of player. I don't care if you want to use him as like Taysom Hill. Second round, that sounds like a starting quarterback type of player you drafted. Like, that's way too early. You could have used Tyler Huntley, I think he's an undrafted free agent now who signed with the Ravens. You could have used him. In my personal opinion, he's better than Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is okay. Why did you draft Jalen Hurts? I do not know. Why did you draft a quarterback when you extend your quarterback for another years to come? You have Nate Sudfeld. I mean, Nate Sudfeld's still pretty good. He's like a little bit of a mix between Nick Foles and Josh McCown. Why did you draft Jalen Hurts? Man, I don't know. But, I mean, they did okay. I do like Jalen Reagor. My problem is, I like Jalen Reagor, but they had Justin Jefferson on the board. Like, he was still out there, and the Vikings ended up drafting him. But after we had the potential to draft Justin Jefferson. Like, I was all in for Justin Jefferson. The one thing he did really, really well was caught the ball. Jalen Reagor has good speed, and I feel like he's a big upgrade to Nelson Aguilar, but he's a little bit of a developmental type of wide receiver, which is okay. He was like my, what was he? Best rookie wide receivers. I had Jerry Jeudy, and Henry Ruggs, then Justin Jefferson, then Jalen Reagor, and then CeeDee Lamb coming to last, because CeeDee Lamb is he's not a great route runner, and he's pretty good hands, but I just don't think it's going to be good transition to the NFL. Maybe I'm wrong. I was wrong about DK Metcalf, but anyway, Jalen Reagor is an experimental, developmental type of player, but they don't really do well with developmental type of players, the Eagles, just out of experience. But they had Justin Jefferson on the board, and that's what really pissed me off. But I believe that Jalen Reagor, I feel like he can be a good player for our Eagles. Maybe like, he kind of reminds me of Jeremy Maclin in a lot of ways, which is really good because I really loved Jeremy Maclin. I was upset when he left our team. I still felt like he could have came back in like 2018 when he was in free agency. Besides the point. Just a quick disclaimer, my footage is acting really wacky right now, so there might be footage missing. I apologize if there's going to be footage missing during this video. But I'm noticing that now that my footage is acting really wonky, and there's nothing I can really do about it for right now. But if there's video missing, I do apologize. But back to what I was saying. All in all, Eagles 9-7. Their defense, they did upgrade their defense a lot. But the problem is, will they stay healthy? And will Fletcher Cox be elite again? Because he had a foot injury, which really messed him up. So, hopefully, the Eagles stay healthy. We don't have any injuries. And hopefully everything goes well with the Eagles. And they also have Darius Slay. Now, they upgraded their cornerback position. Thank God. The last thing they need to upgrade now is their linebacker core. So, that's the only thing that they need to upgrade now. So, maybe get back Nigel Bradham for crying out loud. Eagles fans, you know my pain, right? So, hopefully everything goes well next season, but there's a really big chance that injuries could derail the season once again. All right, coming into third is the Cowboys, going 7-9. Once again, there's three major problems with the Cowboys coming into next year. We all know what the biggest problem is Dak Prescott. Will he play? I don't know. Will he play? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Like, you got a 50-50 shot here. I kind of don't see him playing this year. I know you got Andy Dalton as your backup, but like, okay. Maybe they're like, I feel like they could be like about the same type of player a little bit. Dak Prescott isn't that good. I'm looking at his film. I'm like, don't pay this man $40 million. You could have paid Teddy Bridgewater. You could have paid Tom Brady that amount of money. Like, a lot less. Like, I think Teddy Bridgewater had a $20 million deal. Like, goddamn, Teddy Bridgewater is better than Dak Prescott. You could have signed Teddy Bridgewater instead of franchise tagging Dak Prescott. Because he needs a whole lot to win. I mean, Dak Prescott is okay. I mean, he's not the worst. He's not Mitchell Trubisky bad, but certainly not elite enough to win a Super Bowl. Like, I put him in the realm of a little bit better than Jacoby Brissett. Like, he doesn't hit those marks. Like, god damn, it's so frustrating. And I hate the Cowboys because I'm an Eagles fan, but it's frustrating to see wasteful talent, players wasting teams' talents, like teams' chances to get to the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott basically did that all last season. You can look at the stats. Stats don't tell the whole story. They actually tell none of the story, because anytime Dak Prescott had a good game, it was against a crappy defense and wasn't in clutch at all. He wasn't clutch and he wasn't elite. And for crying out loud, he had a good receiving core. He had Michael Gallup. He had Randall Cobb. He had Amari Cooper. How do you not do well? You should have thrown for like 45 touchdowns. If people think he's so elite, he should have thrown for 45 touchdowns. He ended up throwing for 30 and 13. 30 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Had a really bad completion, and he lost in the most critical games. Games that were the most important. And, by the way, he looked pretty crappy, too, against some really crappy defenses. I'm not crappy, but okay, like the Jets. He lost to the Jets. Like, oh my God. Don't blame that on anyone but Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott really sucked last year. He hasn't been the same since 2016. Let's just be honest here. Let's be honest. Disappointing. And that could be one major issue. And also, another major issue is Michael McCarthy. Well, a two-part issue. One, can he, like this virtual stuff, once again, it don't work. You got to talk to them face-to-face. You got to give a good vibe from your players. You can't do that through these virtual talks. And that's going to be a really big disadvantage for the Cowboys coming into the 2020 NFL season. It's every new head coach is going to have that disadvantage. But the Cowboys, once again, these new NFL head coaches are going to have big issues with trying to communicate and make sure the locker room is great with these bad locker room teams. I mean, like locker room drama teams, like Cowboys and the Browns. They had a lot of big, wide-known locker room drama, and now they have these new head coaches, and they're supposed to implement like a good, solid locker room, and they can't do that through these virtual phone calls and these virtual meetings. It's just not the same. Like they need a whole lot of help. Their defense looked weird last year. They had good playmakers that are usually good, and they weren't that great last year. It was really strange. Except Byron Jones, but he's gone now. They lost Robert Quinn. I'm not sure if Michael Bennett is still on the team. Don't quote me on that. But I know they got Gerald McCoy. But, like, really? Come on. They lost a lot of key playmakers. And they're gonna go 7-9. And also, is Mike McCarthy gonna be lazy? He was lazy in Green Bay. It's just look at him. Like look how the way he called games. He lost to the Cardinals in 2018, one of the worst NFL teams. Like why would Jerry Jones decide to get Mike McCarthy? Because he's a real guy's guy. Because he talks like he's real best friends with Jerry Jones. He's like, hey buddy, what's going on? Hey, what's up? Like they got like a weird friend relationship. Like you could tell in their interviews and stuff, and it's just kind of weird. It's like Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy go out for a beer every single night. You know what I mean? They have a weird relationship. Look at the interviews. You'll see what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll put some in the description below. But really, just look him up. Look up his first press conference. The whole thing was he was just making jokes. He wasn't really saying what he was going to do for this team to help them make it to the Super Bowl. He was just making jokes, which is like compared to the Browns head coach first press conference and then compared to Mike McCarthy, a veteran head coach, a Super Bowl winning head coach. Look, compare the two and see which one's more professional than the other. Seriously, the Browns head coach more professional than Mike McCarthy. Like, come on, man. You've been in the NFL for a while. You shouldn't be acting like this. I mean, everyone got their own style, but to be honest, he kind of looks like he's kind of acting like Freddie Kitchens. Like seriously, I don't know. They're a mess. I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. Like they're just a mess. They're a mess all around. Dak Prescott, is he gonna play? Your backup quarterback is Andy Dalton and possibly Cooper Rush, who's crap. So, how great is Ezekiel Elliott gonna play? Like, you know, but keep optimistic though. There's still a chance for them to possibly be 9-7 or 8-8 if everything goes up to plan. But I honestly don't see. There's just too many glaring issues. Everything's a mess. It's like a humongous mess down with the Cowboys. Like they could say everything's okay, but there's just one too many issues that there's like 20 minutes worth of issues. Seriously. Oh man. Oh no, Cowboys 7-9. There's just too many issues there. All right. And lastly in this division is the Redskins going 4-12. They have the same issues. Excuse me. They have the same issues. Ron Rivera, I mean, that locker room needs some help with their situation too. Dwayne Haskins needs to mature he needs to mature greatly. Like, seriously, he's so immature right now. Like, I'm more mature than Dwayne Haskins. Like, seriously. He doesn't seem like he's a good leader. His arm's okay. Coming out of the draft, I was never impressed with him. He's just meh. He's just okay. He never made NFL-ready throws. Honestly, I see Kyle Allen being the future starting franchise quarterback of their franchise. So, it needs a lot of work as well. They just one too many glaring issues with that team. The running back is okay. The offensive line is still pretty good. By the way, I really believe in Terry McLaurin. He's going to be a stud in the NFL. But other than that, there's just one too many issues. They're going to have the same issue with the coach talking to the players through this virtual system that we've been going through due to the coronavirus. But by the time they see each other face to face, they haven't really got into the groove of things yet. You know what I mean? That's what all new NFL coaches are going to go through. And it's the same thing. And is Dwayne Haskins going to be the starting quarterback? Because right now he's pretty bad. I don't believe in Dwayne Haskins at all. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's another Josh Allen situation where I'm just wrong again about the quarterback. So, I mean, I just don't see much promise with the Redskins right now. But they might improve a little bit because Ron Rivera might. Because it looks like the Redskins organization might listen to Ron Rivera. But unfortunately, they didn't listen to Jay Gruden, who I believe is a really good head coach. He's just the Redskins interfered with everything that Jay Gruden was doing. So I mean, we'll see what happens next year with the Redskins, but I don't see them being great anytime soon. And also, will Alex Smith be the smart? Will Alex Smith be the starter? Honestly, I see it being Alex Smith or Kyle Allen, but it seems like the Redskins might force Dwayne Haskins into a starting job when he really doesn't deserve it. So, all in all, 4-12. Moving on to the NFC West. Oh boy. It's another tough division. NFC West. We got first coming in, 49ers 11-5. Second, Seahawks 10-6. Rams third, 9-7. And last is the Cardinals 8-8. So we'll start out first with the 49ers. Actually, now I realize it's kind of the same order that they were originally from the 2019 NFL season. 49ers. I mean, who really knows how much better they're going to be from the last year? They upgraded a couple of positions. They lost Emmanuel Sanders, so who knows how much that will impact, how much that will affect their offense. Who knows how much that will really affect their offense. They still got Raheem Mostert, so they're going to use him a lot more. He was a really great player near the end of the year. They didn't use him much in the beginning of the season, but they started using him slowly. They got Jerick McKinnon back, who I believe it could be a big impact on the offense. They lost Telvin Coleman, I believe, too, and I'm not sure Matt Breida is still there. I think he is. The offensive line is still pretty good, but I mean, I feel like they're going for the ring. They're basically the same team. They lost a couple key players on defense too. Their defensive tackle they lost, but they replaced him. Cornerbacks, I believe they upgraded with the quarterback position. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be even better than he was last year, and they're going to be great. 11-5. I honestly see it. I see them being one of the Super Bowl contending teams. You never know. Their defense is still maybe it'll be a little bit of a downgrade, but other than that, watch out. 49ers they're going to be a team a tough team in the NFL for years to come. All right. Seahawks second, 10-6. They have a lot of solid players. They're just a solid team. Pete Carroll to me reminds me a lot of like Bill Belichick-esque. I mean, it's just a solid. He gets his team together. He gets these underrated players. Like, for being honest, like Richard Sherman was like, I think it was like a 7th round draft pick. Earl Thomas, like 7th round draft pick too. I'm not really sure, but I know he gets a lot of these like unknown players and makes them great. They're nowhere near the Legion of Boom, but now they just got these underrated solid players like Chris Carson, a 7th round draft pick. Chris Carson, the running back, 7th round draft pick, ran for 1,000 yards 2 seasons ago. He got injured last year. Who knows? Marshawn Lynch, maybe he'll come back. They got they got Philip Dorsett. They signed. The thing that Pete Carroll does great. Is he gets these players that he fits them into his offense. Like DK Metcalf, he used what he was best at. Like DK Metcalf was just best at running straight, like simple routes. Used him what he was good at and made him a great player. And I feel like they could do that for Philip Dorsett because Philip Dorsett's biggest problem was learning the Patriots' offense. Like it was too complicated for him, which is a shame, but he didn't put the work in. But I feel like he could do well in Pete Carroll's offense because he's really good at having players adjust to his offense. So all in all, they got a solid team. They got a solid defense. Hopefully everyone stays healthy because near the end of the season, they just started falling apart. Every single player, basically. Just injuries clouded that whole team. Hopefully they do well, though. They're just solid. They're kind of a sleeper team. Like people have been sleeping on them. Like, yeah, they're okay. But they got a solid. Everything is just solid. Everybody just does their job really, really good. They're not bad. No one's really that bad on the team. You got Shaquille Griffin or Shaquem Griffin. The cornerback's pretty good. Trey Flowers. You got him, who's kind of hit or miss. He has really good moments, and he has kind of moments where he gets burnt. So, I mean, all in all, everyone's just kind of solid. You know what I mean? All right. 10-6 Seahawks. Third, we got the Rams coming in 9-7. Once again, I feel like they're basically the same team that they were last year. How much they upgraded, I mean, I just don't know how great they're going to be. I feel like they're going to be like basically the same team as they were last year. That's all I pretty much have to say. Jared Goff, maybe he'll have a good year. Who really knows? Maybe Jalen Ramsey will adjust to their defense a little bit better than he did last year. Hopefully everything goes good with the Rams, and I just don't see it really being their year this year, but I could see it being their year next year. So, all right, Rams going 9-7, and coming in the last place, our final team is the Arizona Cardinals going 8-8. All right. They're going to have a better year than they did last year, that's for sure. They have DeAndre Hopkins. Their offense is insane. Their offense is scary. They got Larry Fitzgerald. They got Christian Kirk. They even got a couple sleeper wide receivers with Isabella and Johnson. But their defense, Patrick Peterson is a little bit in decline. You got a couple other unknown cornerbacks. Their defense isn't as great. I'm just being flat out honest. It's not that great. So hopefully they can work to improve their defense, and maybe we'll have something good going there. But their offense is still really good. I like what they're doing. I like what Cliff Queensberry is doing. I like his air raid offense. I'm really impressed. I was impressed last season. I feel like Kyler Murray will take that step forward, but not the step that people are thinking. People think he's going to win MVP. No, the player that's going to win MVP is Drew Lock. It's not going to be Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray will take that step forward, but it's not going to be that extreme step everyone's thinking. Drew Lock will take that extreme step. Because in 2018 it was Patrick Mahomes who took that big step forward, and then in 2019 it was Lamar Jackson, and now this year it's going to be Drew Lock. It's always a player they don't expect, and just look at the pieces for Drew Lock. He's going to win the MVP. Just saying. All right. Okay, now time for the Super Bowl predictions. We're going to say now. 3, 2, 1. We in the AFC. I have the Broncos making it to the Super Bowl. And the NFC, I have the 49ers. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. It could potentially be the Bears if Nick Foles ends up being the starter. I'm just not sure if he's going to be the starter. I honestly have no idea. I don't know if he's going to stay healthy. I don't know if the Bears organization wants to take that risk of making their first-round pick being a bust. I do not know. If Mitchell Trubisky is the starter, then forget even the playoffs. Don't even think about the playoffs when it comes to Mitchell Trubisky being the starter coming into next year. But if he is, I could see Nick Foles making it to the Super Bowl. Maybe he'll have that second ring. And I hope I'll be watching every single game of the Bears. I'll be watching every single game. Every single game that Nick Foles starts in. I would be rooting Bears fans. I'll be on your side if Nick Foles will be the starter. But if he isn't, then I'm not going to watch your games. I'm sorry. I can't watch Mitchell Trubisky. Mitchell Trubisky puts me into a cringe coma, like a cringe coma for the rest of the season. Like, he'll paralyze me from his horrible gameplay. All right, I'm being too mean now. All right, that's all that we have for today. Hopefully you enjoyed my predictions. If you agree with me or disagree with me, let me know down in the comments so we can have a discussion about it. And yeah, this episode took a long time to make. It took me about a week and a half. I really wanted to make sure I had the records down and made sure I had all the information correct. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. All right, I'll see you on the next. One more thing, in the middle of editing, I just realized that this is our 10th episode. I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, but I just would like to say thank you for sticking with me this long. I know I've talked to quite a few of you in the comments, Jacob and Mike, main two guys I've been talking to. Just thanks for anyone who watches my videos, basically. Hopefully we can make more videos. Now my school, the school year is over for me, so I'm going to be focusing more onto my podcast. So you're going to be seeing a lot of content coming from me in the future, and hopefully we'll make up to 100. But you never know. Just putting this at the end of the video. I was just editing it, and I just realized I didn't say that. I would just like to say thank you for everyone that was sticking with me for this long, and thank you for all my supporters and stuff. So, yep, that's all I want. All right, I'll see you on the next one.